Welcome to Lit Vibes Only, where we lit the shit out of books we love and hate. I'm Amanda, the insightful thrill seeker and historical fiction nerd.
And I'm Kelsey, the unhinged, diehard romantic and fantasy reader. Welcome to our second episode this month.
Woohoo!
We're excited you're here. Before we dive deeper into the episode, we'd love to showcase where we're at on social media. So you can find us at litvibesonly _podcast on Instagram. I always mess something up. And then on TikTok and YouTube, you can see full-length episodes, and TikTok, same videos that we have out on Instagram at Lit Vibes Only Podcast. And then we are fairly new to Fable, where both Amanda and I host our respective book clubs that showcase the books that are going to be highlighted in the next episodes. So you get an opportunity to vote on those on Fable. And we're both at Lit Vibes Only Kelsey or Amanda. And so you can find both of us, one of us, whichever you prefer. We're happy to have you. We can't wait. And finally, when you are listening to our episodes, please do take that extra minute to download the episode because it helps us so much in getting viewership and new listeners to see the podcast. The other thing that helps us are ratings and reviews. So ratings take a second. And then
Literally.
reviews take a minute more because you're writing a sentence or perhaps a paragraph about why you love the episode or the podcast itself. That really helps us, again, get more listeners to the podcast and highlighted more because more people are talking about it.
Yes.
So please and thank you.
Thank you so much. We need that visibility, y'all. It is rough out here with podcasts. Literally everyone and their mother has a podcast. It's funny because there's an influencer that I follow on Instagram, and literally her and her partner just launched their own podcast. I'm like, that's just the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Especially reality TV folks, as soon as they get a big enough following, they're like, surprise, we have a podcast. I'm like, oh God.
Yes.
There's
just like the different medias that people can tune into, you know?
Yeah. It's also just such a low bar of entry. It doesn't cost really anything to start a podcast. It's very low cost, and you get a mic and some headphones. And
you need a computer if you don't have one.
And a computer if you don't have one, but then most people do. And then you just pay for a Buzzsprout or some other platform to help you get it uploaded. But really, that's it. I can see why
not a lot
folks go this route. But yes, please share, download, spread the word. The more listeners we get, the larger our community gets, which we love. More folks to share books with. So please join us in all the ways. Comment, follow, and subscribe. We're so excited. This is our second episode that we're recording today. So we're just like full steam ahead. We're gonna
or tired.
We're gonna fake it till we make it, Kelsey.
Where you're at.
I just had a matcha, so I'm feeling the caffeine buzz. I think that's gonna get. I had to because I was feeling sluggish when we started, and I'm like,
I have not had caffeine in a while. There's been like a couple times where I accidentally had caffeine where it was in a tea or something, and I'm like, and like, this is nice.
Wired. Speaking of caffeine, there's a newish matcha place in Cap Hill. It's actually, we went to a brunch place near it a while ago, maybe last summer. It's called, I don't know how it's pronounced actually. It's spelled P-H-E, but there's a line over the E. So I'm like, is it pronounced Fee or Fey or I don't know. But they do ceremonial grade matcha. It's legit. So I went there earlier this week and got a matcha latte. Yeah. It's like $10. This is very expensive, but I only could drink half of it because it was like so strong. I was like, I got a headache. Actually, I was like, this is actually too much caffeine. I can't handle it. So,
remember when you came over to my house and you got a matcha nearby? That's the kind of matcha I need. It's a sugary, can't taste the grass.
That was honestly too sugary. Like I like a little bit of the grassiness because I feel like it balances out the sugar. But that one was like so sugary.
What's
It's
that
like,
one place you like to go? Luna?
oh,
Lula?
Lula. Yeah, theirs is really good. They mix it with strawberry. It's really yummy. But
That's
yeah,
the
in
kind I
case you
like.
couldn't tell, guys, I'm a huge matcha girly. I do very much enjoy it. I can't because I can't do coffee. Coffee just makes me feel
Wait, you don't do
so.
coffee ever?
No, I'll do it sometimes. Like if
Okay.
I'm out because we have free coffee at work, and if I'm just really dragging, don't want to go buy a matcha, then
Yeah.
I'll do what I do is I do half coffee, half hot water, and then put in a bunch of sugar and coffee creamer.
But
But
isn't
it
that
just
like an Americano?
I
Like coffee and
think
water?
yeah, sure. I
But then
don't
you add whatever you
know.
want to it.
Yeah. It makes my stomach hurt. As soon
Oh,
as I have a
yeah.
couple sips, I'm like, oh, gross. Like my stomach hurts and I just feel awful.
So in pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
TMI, your bowel system starts moving really slowly. And
Oh, okay.
often women will get constipated. And there's been a few times where I'm like, God, I wish I could
Just
just
need
like
some
have a
coffee.
coffee right now because it does that to me. One, it
Yeah.
makes me jittery. And
Yeah.
then two, it just flushes
Yep.
me out. And I'm like,
Same.
that would be quick.
I mean, you can have some coffee. I know
Oh,
folks
you
who,
can
yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
I just don't like coffee
Oh, okay.
personally.
Same. Okay. So you're like
Yeah.
me. Okay.
Yeah. It does the same thing to me. It hurts my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in college, I was like, the cool thing is to have a coffee.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I was like, I don't really like the taste of this actually.
Same.
Or
I don't
matcha
get it.
though. So I'm not in that boat at all. What I do is Thai iced tea.
Oh, I've never had it because it
Like a
always has
sugar.
milk in it, and I'm assuming they do a non-dairy version with
You
like
can
oat milk
you can do coconut milk.
or coconut milk. Yeah, I do want to
Yeah.
try it. It looks really yummy.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
You've
I
never
also
had one?
no, I've never had.
God, we're
Do you
getting
have
so off topic.
a? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Whoops. Okay, but really quickly though, before we change topics, where do you get your Thai?
So
From?
for those of you who don't know, which I don't know that any of you do, is that I used to be vegan and I love going to the different vegetarian vegan places in town. And Araya's
Oh, okay.
has a really great
Thai tea.
Thai tea. Yes.
Okay, I'll have to check it out then because I do
I
want to
don't
try
know
it.
where else you can get without the cream. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I just avoid it because I'm like, it's dairy and I don't
Yeah.
do dairy.
That's-
Okay, sorry guys. Honestly, I feel like it's been a minute since we've gone down any sort of little rabbit hole. Like,
Yeah,
we've
so
been really
we
good.
earned this.
We earned this diversion into the world of caffeine.
So, what are you reading, Amanda?
What am I reading? I am so stoked because I literally just this morning started reading. I'm like, wait a minute. Because I always want to call it The Keeper of Lost Things. It's The Keeper of Lost Children by
Okay.
Sadekwa Johnson. This is going to be my
feel like
third.
I know this one.
You probably a new book. It
Keeper
just
of-
came out
Oh,
this year.
Hmm.
It's an international bestseller already. This is my third book of hers that I read. And if the name sounds familiar to you guys, it's because Kelsey actually, in one of our previous Lit Rex episodes, recommended Yellow Wife by Sadekwa Johnson, which is why I ended up reading it, fell in love with it. Also read House of Eve by her. And this is another historical fiction novel.
it's not coming up.
Oh,
That's
really?
weird.
Okay. Yeah, it's Keeper of Lost Children. And
Oh,
the premise is really interesting because it's telling the story of these biracial children that were born close to the end of World War II because American GIs, Black American GIs, were getting it on with some of the local German ladies and falling in love and obviously like having children.
interesting.
And then those children were basically like outcast. And
Mm.
so they were sent
Wow.
to like these homes, these orphanages, and then often adopted by American families who couldn't have children. And so
Yeah.
it's based on actual events. I'm really excited to learn more about this part of history because I didn't know this was a thing.
At all.
Yeah. And as somebody who is biracial as well, like this is so interesting. I want to learn more about this. So
Totally.
I'll keep you all posted. I have high hopes. Like I said, I've enjoyed the other two books of hers that I've read, and I've heard good things about this one. So yeah, that's what I'm currently reading.
Okay. All right. When's the last time I read a historical fiction?
It's probably something I made you read.
Yeah. Obviously, there's been like one time I've read something that you have not made me. That's a big deal. That was a big deal. So right now I'm about to dive into my book club month book, whatever.
Book club book, monthly pick.
Yes, that. I have not chosen the book in a while because the participants in this group do not like the books that I read. And
I know what that feels like.
I just kind of let them choose. And like some of the parameters we have are like, oh, it needs to be like 300 pages or less.
Okay.
And it doesn't need to be by like any particular author, but we tend to gravitate towards diverse reads and
Mm-hmm.
like stories outside of the box. Sometimes it's weird though. And so I'm like, eh. But the next one that we're reading is called Lucky Red by Claudia Cravens.
Okay,
I have
never heard of
no
that.
idea what it's about, and that's very typical before I head into these books. So I'll just
Okay.
be like, whatever. The last one we read was like this mystery of and detective story
Okay.
of this. What is the word? It was like two people in a body, but it would it one side of the face looked like the man and one side of the face looked like the woman. It was really interesting and
On the
different
cover or in the book
in
itself?
the book itself.
Oh.
And they would flip personalities depending on who's there. It was a very interesting and detective mystery story. So
Okay.
those are the kinds of books that we dive into. Nothing I would ever have on my radar. So whatever this book is, I don't know. It's
Okay. It
I'm
shall be
just
a
gonna
mystery
dive
until
into
you.
it. Look
I
at
I can't do that. I can't read a book without having read the book jacket or a blurb because I find it very disorienting. Like,
mm.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a me thing. I don't know if
Oh,
it's
I get
like
that.
just how my brain works, but some folks are like, I want to read a book and not know anything going in. And I'm like, I find it very, yeah, disorienting, discombobulating, unsettling. And I'm like, nope, I got to at least have the premise locked in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I just spend the first chapter stumbling around. Who are these people? What's going on? Where are we? And
It's
I don't like
fair.
it.
I do that every time. Like,
Yeah.
and I just figure it out along the way. I don't know. I like surprises. So
Yeah.
maybe that's the part of my personality that this is hitting. That I'm just like,
Yeah.
cool. I'm not finding out the sex of my baby.
Yeah.
I just don't. I like surprises.
I think I'm definitely more of a control freak. I like to know what's happening when, why. I need to plan for it. I but I like novelty, not necessarily surprises,
Mm,
like new things and like new
yeah.
experiences, but not necessarily bam, right? I like just I don't know. Anyhow, okay, we're also getting distracted again. Okay,
Ah!
we are going to
Because
stay
I
on
don't
track.
want to summarize this book.
Honestly, okay. So first off, the book is My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. And I understand your dilemma because it is a thriller, it is twisty, and
Yes.
trying to like unravel all of the different pieces into some sort of cohesive whole is not going to be fun. And I pity you a little bit.
It's already
I
written,
actually,
so I'll just read whatever I have written. I
okay.
forget what I had, so
Okay.
it'll be what it is.
So my reasons for choosing this book are this was one
Yes.
of so far I think I've only had two 5-star thrillers this year. So
Okay.
this was released this year, 2026. I've read Alice Feeney before, and honestly, a lot of her books have been missed for me and not hit. So I was a
Mm.
little on the fence about this, but then I heard so many rave reviews. I was like, okay, she must have done something amazing with this book. So I read it and loved it. So that's, yeah, the primary reason I chose it. It's also
Yeah.
new, so I know a lot of people are talking about it. But similar to other thrillers that I love, such as like The Inmate or like Verity, it's a little bonkers. And there's a part of me that loves thrillers that are a little unhinged. Obviously, you don't want to be so off the wall that it's like entirely just like unbelievable and pulls you out of it. But I
Yeah.
do think for a thriller to be truly twisty, it does have to be a bit like you have to have a bit of willing suspension of disbelief. But
Hmm.
I thought it like walked that line. So I thought like maybe this would be a thriller that would keep Kelsey guessing and wanting to know what was happening, and also hopefully not too far fetched where she was like, "Oh my god, this is stupid." We shall see. So those were my reasons because honestly, I think I've only had maybe one or two thrillers that Kelsey has liked so far.
Yeah. Ones were
Um,
those the Rachel one?
Oh yeah, the
That
reappearance of
one.
Rachel Price. You liked that one. There was
Yeah.
one other one a little bit more recently. I'd have to pull up the list.
And then there's everyone else that I've like absolutely hated.
Yes. So like historically I've not been doing well with my thriller selections, my thriller choices for Kelsey.
I just don't think it's my genre.
Yeah,
Like it's
that's
just
fair.
not, yeah.
Although I will say for myself, I would also say like romantasy is not my genre. And I feel like I've
Mm-hmm.
liked more of your books
Yeah.
than you have of mine. I think I'm just more open-minded.
I feel quite critical of the mystery horror
Thriller.
thriller
Yeah, you are.
genre. I don't know.
Yeah, which is why I don't want to ask you this question right now.
Just ask it,
But
Amanda.
Kelsey, was My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney a lit it or quit it for you?
It was a soft lit it.
Yes. Okay. I will take that.
It wasn't that
I'm
bad.
Okay. I honestly, my bar is so low at this point.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Couldn't be happier.
No, it was a pretty solid read
Okay.
and kept me intrigued throughout.
Good.
So,
Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Yay. All right. Now you get to dive into this crazy, insane, twisted
Okay.
memory and see how you do.
The problem that I had with this is that I did not take great notes when I was reading
Yeah.
because then what happens in this book is you think one thing and then something gets revealed and then you're like, "Oh, but the revealed thing is the real thing." And so you have to be like, think back to the fake things that were not real. And I'm like, I don't fucking remember. I just know at the end, this is what's revealed. So I tried really hard.
Okay. You got this.
This is my attempt. Okay. So I want to lay into groundwork first. The first line that this book opens with is everybody lies and everybody dies. Like it's the first line of this book. And I was like, oh God.
So melodramatic.
And then I just want to highlight the characters to form a baseline of who I'm mentioning because everybody's intertwined. So Eden is the current woman married to Harrison and has an art show opening at the beginning of the book. Harrison is the father of Gabby and husband to Eden. Eden and Harrison live in Hopewells. I can't remember. Hopeswell, I think. Birdie is a woman who lives in London and has recently been diagnosed with terminal cancer. Gabby is the daughter of Harrison, who was in a tragic accident when she was a child and now lives in an institution that helps take care of her. We find out that Gabby has been mute for about 8 years since the accident. Mary is Gabby's caregiver who has been helping her speak again. Carter is the police officer in Hopeswell. He is married and cheats on his wife twice during the novel. And then finally, Jane is Carter's wife. Okay, so those are the main people that are important to the story. I'll talk about this later, but remind me to mention creepy.
I'll try.
Okay. It starts off with Eden running in Hopeswell. She has an art show opening this evening she's going to get ready for. When she returns to the house, another woman that looks like her answers the door. The woman inside insists that she's Eden and not her, and Eden starts to spiral and doesn't know what to do. The police officer is called of Hopeswell, aka Carter, and is on the lookout for this woman who says that she's Eden. Eventually, she finds the keys to the car and leaves the town. She realizes she doesn't have many friends and no one to really help her in this situation. About 6 months prior, we are introduced to Birdie, whose grandma recently left her a house in Hopeswell. She finds out her grandma went to a company that predicts the day you're going to die. So Birdie decides to go as well under her grandma's name, since they have the same name, and since her recent cancer diagnosis, she's curious. And she goes through with the process and receives her death date. It's not revealed to the audience yet, like what that day is. And we jump back to Eden. There's I don't even know how many narrators, but like it goes through all of the characters essentially. Back to Eden, she attempts to go see Gabriella, Gabby, who is Harrison's daughter. When she arrives, Gabby actually whispers, which she's been mute for 8 years, and says, "This woman is not my mother." Eden runs back out of the facility and makes it to the car. It's an electric car, so it dies in the middle of the road when she's trying to get back. And Eden receives a text from some random phone in her car in the morning that says, "Meet me at the cliffs." So Eden runs to the cliffs, waiting for the unknown person to meet her. She then is pushed off the cliff by an unknown person. And at this point, Birdie comes to town as the latest detective hire for the town. Carter is pissed because he wanted that job. He also knows Birdie because they hooked up when she was in town last while she was setting things up with her grandma's house. She begins investigating Eden's disappearance. She speaks to townspeople about what they saw. A woman's body is then found at the beach, but they are unable to quickly identify her because her face is bashed in. Carter sees Harrison leave the area where the body is found, and Carter goes to visit Gabby or Gabriella to try to uncover leads because he's suspicious of Harrison. He ends up seeing Gabby's caregiver, Mary, who he knows as Eden, and Mary runs away. He upsets Harrison because he suspects his involvement and went to visit his daughter. And Birdie goes to Carter's home because he was missing for the day while he was visiting Gabby, and she hasn't heard from him, and then ends up meeting his wife and child that she did not know about. And that day, the Day of the Dead celebration is going on in town, and they're having a big festival, which was interesting choice. It's uncovered that Harrison, you remember the company that Birdie and her grandmother went to find out their death date. Harrison actually owns that company, and he is in the middle of selling the company because he knows it doesn't come up with or generate correct details or real death dates. And Carter also then discovers that Birdie is not actually the new detective and that she's just pretending to be the new hire. All right. I have 2 more paragraphs.
You're doing great.
Birdie thinks she's going to die November 2nd, which is the next day after the Day of the Dead celebration. And Carter and her end up at Spyglass House, which is the house that Birdie owned and sold to Harrison and Eden. And Birdie discloses exactly what's going on here. Carter is stuck in the secret tunnel that Birdie trapped him in, and Birdie is dying inside the house. She explains to him because she has this awful pain because of her condition, and she's taking a lot of pills to subside it, but has not been taking them regularly. And so she explains to him that she is Gabby's mom, and that for a long time she thought she was the one that ran over Gabby, resulting in her accident and her new disabilities. Turns out Eden is the one that hurt Gabby and blamed it on Birdie. At that time, Eden was Gabby's nanny when she was so young. And so now Harrison and Birdie, Gabby's actual parents, had plotted a scheme to get back at Eden. Neither of them had killed Eden, though, at the cliffs, and Mary stepped in to impersonate Eden for them. Birdie dies, but is brought back to life by Carter because he makes his way through the tunnels and comes back to Spyglass and saves her. And in the end, Harrison leaves the area with Gabby and Mary. Eden is discovered that was her body and she had died. And Birdie stays in Spyglass and grows her relationship back with her daughter. It's revealed that Jane, Carter's wife, actually killed Eden out of jealousy because she saw Carter kissing Eden that one night. And she also has now eyes for Birdie because she suspects that Carter cheated with her as well. So everyone gets a happy ending except there's the killer on the loose.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
No, that's great. I would add just one critical piece to the story, which is that
What?
Eden, the reason why all of that like originally happened is that Eden was sleeping with Harrison. So the nanny, Eden, was sleeping with Harrison.
Back
Harrison's
in the
daughter,
day.
back in the day, Harrison's daughter, Gabriella, she saw them cheating together. And Eden didn't want this to come out. So she pushed Gabriella, like I think down a flight of stairs or off the
Yeah, it was
staircase
something
and
crazy.
injured her, and then put her body out in the street and arranged the bicycle around it so that it looked like as who was it as
Birdie.
Birdie was coming home from work and she's a cop.
She hit her, her
She
daughter.
thought she hit her daughter and the whole thing was staged. That's
Yes.
why when this all comes out and Harrison and Birdie realize what Eden did, they hatched this whole plan to take revenge on Eden, and everything unfolds from there.
I think from the moment that Birdie believes that she's the one that hurt her daughter, she kind of steps back from Gabby because she has so much guilt.
Yeah. So she very much distanced herself. Obviously, Harrison and they get divorced. And then at the very end, when you mentioned that Birdie was dying, it's because she took a bunch of pills to basically end her own life because she knew it was her death day.
Yeah.
And so that's how she ended up dying, essentially. And then, Carter comes back up and resuscitates her.
And an interesting fact about these people as well is that her grandmother was known as the woman that died twice.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what connection that has, but she dies and then comes back to life. And then she ends up dying on her death date that the company predicts that she will die on. But again, these death dates are just getting into people's heads and really truly it's just manipulating them, because if Birdie hadn't taken those pills, that would not have happened. And then I think the grandma did something too to herself to die. And
I think she actually did die of natural causes. That was the thing. It just happened to be like a coincidence that the death they predicted was the day that she passed. It seemed like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's just, they're just making guesses and hoping they're right, which of course they're not.
Yeah. So strange.
Yeah. It was an interesting element to add to the story because the story itself already was pretty twisty, convoluted. So to add this extra element of having a company that predicts death dates and adding that was
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I don't think it was needed.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was one more way to connect Harrison and Birdie, but it did feel like that concept in and of itself could have been its own novel, right? Like this company that has this technology and how they use it. I could see that being, oh God, why am I blanking on his name? John Mars. He has this whole series of books that's like speculative fiction about different things happening in the future and their impact and the morality of I could see him doing a book about that. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. But okay, so since this book was not a total miss for you, I'm curious to know what are some things that you did like about this thriller?
It kept me guessing.
Okay.
And it wasn't super outlandish where you're like, none of this makes sense. This could never fucking happen. So that was good.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah. And the characters, I didn't have an issue with the characters because you know how I get when they're fucking annoying.
I dumb.
Cannot. Yes, or just dumb. I didn't feel like any of them were like overtly dumb, and so that was great. They're not relatable necessarily, but in the end, you're like, oh, it's some family that's getting revenge on someone that harmed their child. I was okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah, and then it was just a overall solid mystery because it kept me guessing.
Okay. Kept you turning the pages.
Yeah. And I wanted to know what happened.
Okay.
In the end.
Were you correct about any predictions that you made, or were you surprised by what was revealed at the end?
With Jane, I don't know. It didn't feel like Birdie and Harrison had killed Eden, but I was like, who did? I didn't guess who had. Okay. I was trying to figure out what side character it was going to be because I didn't think it was going to be
a side
them.
character.
So yeah, I did predict it wasn't going to be them, but I couldn't tell who it was. But this one, do you remember what book was it that we read where everyone was fucking cheating?
Oh,
Everybody.
yes. It was like oh gosh, hold on. It was the Amy Tintera book. It was the podcast book.
Yes.
Why am I I'm
Not a
blanking on the
lie,
name? Or
another lie. Don't.
not tell me lies. What is it? Something with lies in it.
Yes.
I feel like I need to look it up. But yes, that was the thing.
The cheating
Yes, I remember you
thing was
mentioned
not
that.
overdone here. It was just really
Yes.
Carter.
Although I will say that this book, no, they're not all cheating, but if you think about it, every single listen for the lie. That's what it's called.
Listen for the lie.
Listen for the lie. But
Yeah.
every single character in this book, the ones that you listed at the beginning of your summary,
Yeah,
they're all morally gray to one degree or another. And again, I love that. I know maybe sometimes you're on the fence about that, but they're all damaged in some way, making not great choices. Yeah, making questionable choices.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're all just messy.
Yeah. No, totally. And then this book actually creeped me out.
Okay.
And it was mostly over Gabby that I did not like that aspect of her fucking whispering shit. And it was like, it was the creepiest thing. I so just eerie. Can't. Oh, and I was like, she's not her mom. What? Like,
yeah, because like when Eden shows up that first time, the thing that creeped me out is like, so she like whispers out, she's like, she's not my mom. And then as Eden turning to go, she looks back at her and she has this creepy little smug smile on her face. And I was like, oh my gosh, this feels like a horror. Like
it did novel. For a hot second. I was like, ew. Yeah. No.
But I totally did not predict or catch that Birdie was married to Harrison, that Gabby was her. That came out of nowhere for me. And I ultimately liked it, but I was like, oh yeah, I don't think I would have ever put that together. I don't think.
Or that Birdie was Gabby's actual mom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't predict that either. I did find it, I was definitely a bit discombobulated closer to the beginning when I was like, okay, how does this seemingly random Birdie character connect to what's happening at this home with Harrison and Eden? And the fact that it jumped back and forth in time a little bit with that 6-month gap, that was a little bit tricky at first to keep track of. And also, like you said, it is jumping around from different characters' POVs. Like there's definitely multiple.
It starts off with Birdie and Eden heavily. Yeah. And then at some point jumps to Harrison, and then it's Carter, and then at the very end it's Jane.
That was like that whole Jane, like that. I'm not gonna lie. When I got to that last bit and realized that was Jane, that was one of those moments where I dropped my book and I was like, wait, what? Out loud. I was just like, what just happened?
You're
and
like,
I love those moments so much because she was just a blip on my radar. I just was like, oh, she's just a homely little housewife who's just annoyed with her husband, but chipper and trying to make the best of things. And would have never assumed she had it in her to just murder someone.
She just... Yeah, that's the point of a mystery, right? It's like you don't suspect anybody, but it could be anybody.
It could be. And to be fair, I didn't feel like it wasn't so far-fetched where it was like, okay, there's no way that it would have been Jane, because like it did lay the framework. It showed that they were having marital issues already. It showed that he had cheated really on her a couple times, because he cheats on her with Eden, but then with Birdie they sleep together because Birdie doesn't realize he's married and has a kid, and he doesn't disclose that information. So it does track, and like we all know, crimes of passion are absolutely a thing. So so
it doesn't feel super far-fetched.
It wasn't like because I've gone to the ends of some Twillers and they pull out some crazy conclusion. I'm like, wait, that doesn't actually track with anything that came before. So
leading up to it. There was enough foreshadowing.
Absolutely.
To make sense of that.
Was there anything then that you did find annoying or unbelievable or...
Okay, the main criticism I have is just the telling of the entire story at the very end from Birdie.
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
couldn't we have done this differently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she just basically tells everything about the story. And I don't know. It might have been helpful if one person, if Carter was like the real detective, right? And he was trying to uncover these things.
And put the pieces
But he
together.
was not even close. Like, nobody was really close. So it I don't know. I would have preferred something other than just the telling at the very end.
Okay. That's fair. With a
Yeah.
little bit more showing than telling. I think because
Yeah.
I agree. And I also think because this story does get quite convoluted, it was helpful to just have someone lay it all out in sequential order and just tell the story. Because I think if she had tried to do a little bit more showing than telling, it might have made it harder to put all the pieces together. Maybe because even with her doing that, I was on some different book forums, whatever, and people were still like, wait, I'm still confused as to what happened. The ending was so convoluted.
In
Like,
this?
yeah. Which I personally didn't have that issue. I thought I tracked with
No.
it pretty well. But there were people who were like, can someone please explain to me what happened at the end?
That's surprising to
But
me. It was
yeah,
like laid out.
I
I'm
know.
so confused. What?
I think the thing that got people so the one thing that I didn't like and I think that people found confusing is it was very highly unlikely that the person who just so happened to be Gabriella's caretaker at the institution also looked just like Harrison's new wife. You know what I mean?
That was like the most unbelievable
yeah,
thing.
the fact that Eden and Mary are like basically can pass as twins, that is a bit much. And so I think a lot of people, especially because at times they're both referred to as Eden, obviously, because Mary's pretending to be Eden. I think people got confused sometimes which Eden was which.
Oh.
And so I think that confused some people
I see.
at certain times. But
yeah, if you're thinking about it in a way where it's, oh, this is Eden's perspective, that's the true Eden, then, and you trust that, then it's not confusing. But I get why it's a mystery novel. So it's like, am I supposed to believe this is Eden or is this someone else? Yeah, no, I can get that. But
especially because in thrillers and mysteries, it's not uncommon to have an unreliable narrator who's telling you one thing and is actually lying to your face.
Which is all of them.
Yes. But although I guess Birdie does lie, which is
yes, they all lie.
Yeah, they do. They do all lie. Like I said, they're all messy people.
Yes. Besides Jane, maybe.
Jane's
they all
messy.
No, they all lie. Jane.
She lies about, she never discloses that she's the one who murdered.
She does in her narrative. She does.
I guess it's true. True. In terms of lying to the reader. Yeah, that's fair. Does Birdie lie to us though? Or does she just like
they all like hold information?
They like withhold. Yeah, okay. They have
and
like a lie of omission. Okay.
The other thing that that I didn't pick up on myself, but reading some of the reviews, I was like, oh my God, that's why. Because it felt shocking at the end because the way that it's done, it's like in first person, right? And it's as if these characters are lying to themselves about what's actually happening. Because Birdie always knows that she's connected to Harrison and that Gabby is her daughter, but that's just never said in her head. But that's why she's doing all the things. So that was the other criticism I had, but it's just, and Carter never thinks of his wife until it was just like,
that's a good point, because otherwise she could have just changed the POV and not had it be like first person.
Yeah.
And then that would make sense if there was information that wasn't disclosed. That is a fair criticism.
While I was reading, it didn't stick out to me.
Same.
But thinking about it afterwards, I'm like, oh yeah, that does make sense. It would make more sense if
they weren't the person talking to you directly first person. I'll definitely give you guys that for sure. I think I was just so caught up in it because for me, the reason why I ended up picking up this book, even though I'm on the fence when it comes to Alice Feeney, is I was so intrigued by the premise. I'm like, how is she going to pull this off? This idea that someone goes out for a run, she comes home, and she sees herself at home with a husband who's fully in on it. I'm like, how are you going to make this work? I think I was just curious to see how she was gonna let this all
Yeah.
play out, and if she could do it in a way that felt somewhat believable. And I think she pulled it off. I truly do. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I was kept guessing. I didn't feel like she just pulled something out of thin air to have a jarring, shocking conclusion. So this was a huge win for me.
And Eden dies pretty quickly at the beginning of the book.
She does.
And that premise is like, okay, bye. Like it's completely new, like kind of book. Yeah. It starts us off, but it does not go anywhere really.
No, because then the rest of it is just like
interesting.
Yeah. Because you'd expect that to happen towards the end of the book or in the middle or something, but it starts off pretty quickly that you're like, okay, well,
she's actually gone now. So
she's gone now.
This is the real story. Yeah, but thinking about that with the very beginning, because you're wondering like, wait, is this woman crazy or is someone playing her?
Yeah.
And obviously someone's playing her and her husband and this Mary woman. And what an interesting cycle for Harrison to be in, continuing with these like random women, like who's next?
I know.
So it'll be Mary and then it'll be someone else next
I know
time.
the fact that because it ends with Harrison and Mary and Gabriella like moving to Switzerland. I think it's Switzerland.
I don't remember, but
it's
they
like,
move off somewhere.
Harrison's kind of a douche. They're all
totally.
They're all like awful. But if I were Mary, I would be like, wait, let me just take stock for a second. He's already been married twice.
But for her to be interested and willing to play his wife
exactly
in this way, she's fucked up too.
Yeah, she's gotta be. And then like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fall in love with this man and go move to a different country with him.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is a toxic cycle. Run. What are you doing?
Exactly. No, Mary's also twisted in her own way.
Yeah. Also, the other thing I did have a little bit of trouble with was Gabriella. Because like she has this accent when she's, I don't know, 8 or something. And then she's mute for 8 years or whatever. So now she's like an adolescent. And seemingly overnight, her power of speech is restored and she seems like she's pretty fully functional. And like, I don't know that much about like that kind of trauma. And like, I know selective mutism is a thing and all of that, but it seemed a little too, I don't know. Like her recovery seemed a little too rapid after being in that state for so long.
It didn't, I guess the creepy aspect like hung on for me. Yeah. And I didn't think, because she's still just whispering. She's not like speaking fully. But
at the end of the novel, she is. I guess the epilogue? Because she's like.
But yeah, how far away is that? Is that like a year or something?
Oh, I don't know. But yeah,
there was like an extended period of time.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, she seems normal.
I don't remember her at the very end in the epilogue.
But yeah, that to me is maybe a bit of a stretch, maybe. And then did we ever because you read it more recently than I did.
Which was still not fairly recent.
I know.
Tell me.
It's been a couple months. What? Birdie obviously has this terminal cancer diagnosis. Do we know at the end?
No, I don't think we do. Like why?
Like, is she better? What's her prognosis? Is she?
I don't think it mentions it.
I don't think it did either. And I was like, I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I'm like, do we know how much time she has left? Did she get miraculously? Did it go into remission? That was left open ended, maybe intentionally. But I was like, it would be nice to know.
Yeah. And I guess people get misdiagnosed all the time,
that is
right?
True.
But maybe at the beginning of the book, they needed it to be terminal, but I don't know.
I feel like with terminal cancer, that's really hard to misdiagnose because at that point it's spread. Maybe. You know what I mean? It's usually, right? Or if it's a really rapidly progressing cancer, but
miracles happen, Amanda.
Yeah. So anyhow, do you have any other thoughts or comments? Yeah, before we get to the reviews.
I was just saying, I think we discussed it. Just the fact that Harrison came up with this plot to take revenge on Eden. It's just the whole thing was fucked up. And for her to miss her show at the beginning and she's running around frantically trying to figure out who can help her, to also be that lonely in life, like alone in life, where you only have your husband to like support your identity essentially. Like, That is a really fucked place to end your life.
Yeah.
I felt for her a little bit.
Like, the plot wouldn't have worked if she wasn't completely alone, right?
Oh,
They
yeah.
needed, like, she had to be someone who had zero contacts,
Yeah.
no one else to turn to in order for them to, like,
Exactly.
for this plan to work. So
Yeah.
that was another thing that was like, okay, that had to be just so in order for all of this. But yeah,
Yes,
it was a pretty intense plan for revenge.
Yeah.
That they enacted.
But again, what Eden did was also fucked up. But also what Harrison did was really fucked up. Like cheating on his wife and getting with this woman. I don't know. They're all intertwined.
Yeah. They're all just super. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, because I was trying to think of like who is the most like relatable or empathetic character in this book. And
Jane. The murderer.
Maybe. I don't know. Because at first I thought it was going to be Carter, like this kind of like boyishly, like kind, chipper, local, small town cop who just wants to do the right thing. And then you learn more about him and you're like, because there's the whole thing like he has a sister.
Yes.
And like their family has owned a pub in town for a really long time. And
don't they have to sell it or something?
They have to sell it or something.
Yeah.
And he's also bitter about that. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. They've all had their things.
Who's the most relatable is probably that old guy that saw.
Oh yes,
the old neighbor that Eden go up.
Yeah, go up before she got pushed off the cliff. Yeah,
and his story keeps changing.
Because he was like out walking his dog or something.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go with him. We'll go with him for sure. Okay. Then would this be like, what's your final recommendation? Would you recommend this book?
Yes. Don't listen to this podcast beforehand, but go read it and then come back here and tell us what you think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. And I think especially, again, I've read so many thrillers and this one got me. So I feel like if you're someone who doesn't normally read thrillers, this will absolutely get you. I don't think you're going to see this one coming. And I also, again, don't think it's so far-fetched that you're just going to be like, oh, I'm done with this book. This is ridiculous. I think it's a fun read. And I mean, the summer's coming up. Grab this book, take it on the plane with you, take it to the beach or the pool. You could totally blow through this in an afternoon or something.
If you're Amanda.
Well, okay, maybe a couple days, but it's not that long. And honestly, you won't want to put it down. You really will just want to keep turning the pages until you figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah,
it's so
I felt that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, how long did it take you to read it?
Only a few days.
Yeah,
I know you listen to everything right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was only a few days.
Yeah. And it's not a super long book either. Most thrillers aren't super lengthy. It's 300 and something pages, I think.
I would like to challenge you though, because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Which I might be, but not many of your mystery thriller authors are non-white.
This is true. This is very,
so I want to challenge you to find other authors beyond
that. You know what? My favorite, and he's thriller, but more crime fiction. I am gonna have you read one of his books because I love him. It's S.A. Cosby.
Right.
He's a Black author. The reason why I haven't recommended or had you read one is because his books are brutal. They're quite violent. And not in like a gratuitous way, but I'm just not sure how you'd respond to them.
Not well.
But that is one in particular crime fiction thriller author that I discovered last year that I really love. But no, that's a great challenge. And obviously, hold on. The other person that I should have you read, who Jennifer Hillier. She is Asian American. And she is local. All of her books, are like in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle. She's another person I discovered last year, and I've read almost all of her books. And I think you would like them. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have you read one of her books. But no, that's definitely a good challenge because I feel like it is a genre that tends to be a bit more dominated by white authors, even more so than other genres. I did have you read Yellowface, which is, I think, considered a thriller and contemporary fiction, and that's by R.F. Kuang. But yeah, okay. Challenge accepted.
Good.
Okay, let's do some literally the best or literally the worst book reviews from Goodreads. I've got 5 stars, so I'll go after Kelsey so we can end on a happy note. So what are some 1 stars
we'll see.
For us?
Okay. So this one comes from B. And it says, No. For the love of fuck. No. I am so sick of this shit. I thought Beautiful Ugly was the worst of hers, but if I could give this negative stars, I would. Not only is the same bullshit twist, it made even less sense because it was more than one POV who was lying to themselves in their own fucking heads. No one said a damn thing when they saw each other. Don't even try and fucking tell me that this is even remotely possible to pretend you don't know someone in your own thoughts, especially when you are in fucking cahoots.
Okay, that was what you were saying before, which, look, it's valid.
Well said, B. It's so funny.
She should have chosen a different POV. That is 100% valid. I'm not even going to try to justify that. Okay.
Like I said, it didn't super bother me when I was reading it, but looking back, I was like,
in hindsight,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, same. It didn't even come up for me, but in hindsight, I'm like, oh, yeah, that wasn't great. Okay.
Okay.
My first 5-star is from Marin's Reads. While I normally like to include a synopsis in my reviews, this book is best read if gone into completely blind. If you do and enjoy being confused in the best way, you are in for such a treat with Alice Feeney's upcoming release. One thing she has done incredibly well in each and every one of her novels is to leave us tiny breadcrumbs throughout the story. Now, we may not pick up on said breadcrumbs during our read, but when we reach the end and the big reveals, it's easy to see how we were led there all along. In fact, she is so good at this, I have taken to referring to the inclusion or lack thereof as the Feeney test. Does a twisty novel pass the Feeney test, or has the writer done us a complete disservice by never leaving us the blueprint, but rather throwing everything on our head in the last chapters of the book? Did I feel massively turned around during a good portion of this book? You betcha. And I absolutely loved it. Keeping in mind, I always knew I would eventually discover the breadcrumbs, I was able to trust Feeney to take me on an amazing psychological journey that left me fully satisfied by the time I reached its conclusion. Yeah, I agree. I think she did do a good job of leaving just enough information where you didn't feel completely blindsided at the end. Like, wait, what? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. Okay, this one comes from Fern. This was ... not good. I did not enjoy the cringeworthy characters, plot, or writing style. The ending of each chapter tying into the first sentence of the next chapter was giving me the ick. Bummer, because this was my first Alice Feeney, and I own a couple others by her. And that is it.
Oh, interesting. I actually forgot about the sentence thing that she did in the book, which
I actually did not pick up on. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't like it. I was like, okay, this is a bit silly. But honestly, if this had been my first Alice Feeney book, I probably would have different feelings about her because she was such a hyped author. And that's why I started reading her. And then I was like, I'm underwhelmed by some of these books. But okay. All right. Hopefully, I'm going to read this next review in a way that people will understand. It's very short. Okay. This is from Yusra. Flabbers, gasted, bam, boozled, discombobulated, dumb, struck, my brain, mush, Alice Feeney, 8.
But does not deserve her ass 8.
Oh my, I still cannot get over that from last episode. That was such a crazy review. I'm just never gonna not be thinking about that.
You're gonna have to just make a video about that review.
I know. It's gonna be one of our teaser trailers. It's so wild. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and listen to the previous episode.
The Woven Kingdom. I found the most unhinged review. It was hilarious.
So crazy.
So great. Okay, this one's really short.
Okay.
And from MK. It says, bruh, worse than Frida McFadden. And that's really saying something. Hated this book.
That is hilarious. Honestly,
for many reasons, I have not read Frida McFadden.
Have I not? No, you have. You read The Inmate. That was Frida McFadden.
And it was okay, and it was trash. And also, she has The Teacher or something.
Yes,
I will never read that.
I will never read that either.
There's a lot. Yeah. She's overhyped, I think.
She's very hyped, and you know, she's a hit or miss person. I read her newest book this year, Dear Debbie, and I really liked it though. But her release last year, The Crash, I did not like. So she literally is opposite ends of the spectrum for me. Yeah, she's interesting. Okay. Next is Nina from Ninja's Books, which I've actually read her reviews before. So here we go. 5-star.
Hello, Nina.
Hello, Nina. Now, this was one big hit for me. I've been waiting and waiting for it and used my credit on Audible with anticipation buzzing inside. And boy, this was definitely worth it. From the beginning, you feel slightly confused and dizzy by what's happening. And then as the story progresses, there is one surprise after another. You know that feeling when you think you know where it's going and then you have to rearrange it all in your mind, like a puzzle where the picture turned out to be different than on the box? There are so many whiplash moments in here, like a box of chocolate where a new one pops up as soon as you eat one. Delicious in the very best way.
Like a new box of chocolate just pops up
when you're done with I think a piece of chocolate. Like a box of chocolate where a new one, I guess it could be a new box. I just read it as
interesting.
So, yeah, thanks, Nina.
You liked the book. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, this one is a paragraph. This is from Erica. Listen, I'm not usually a harsh reviewer, but if I could give this book -10 stars, I would. Genuinely, I was so lost the entire time, and not in a good, suspenseful way, in a complete, this shit makes zero sense kind of way. I'm mind boggled at the amount of high ratings this book has. It's very possible that I'm the problem, but in general, I'm a pretty easy to please reader. I wish I could get my money and time back. The big reveal was simply nonsensical, and you can tell it was purely for a major plot twist. However, you can't have a plot twist when the plot is so insanely convoluted. I guess if you ignore the 6 million plot holes, you could call the end a plot twist. It seems as though the writer has no desire to lay out a cohesive, well thought out plot and just wanted to have a mic drop moment that made no sense. Also, that many POVs is completely unnecessary. Yes, being a hater. I'm sorry. I'm just so mad I spent my real actual dollars on this book.
Sorry, Eric. Sure, she makes some valid points. There are a lot of POVs. Mm-hmm. It is a very twisty, convoluted book, but the thing with Jane at the end, like her being the murderer, like it just didn't seem that out of the blue for me. Like, like she's a jaded wife who's been cheated on multiple times, is unhappy in her marriage, and like, she's also a young mom, like sleep deprived, etc. I don't know. Again, crimes of passion happen all the time, right? Yes. This is not so far fetched that it's like, what? This could never happen.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way either.
Yeah, I didn't either. Okay, Erica. Last 5-star review from Therese. Holy smoke and mirrors. Reading Alice Feeney's latest mind-bending psychological thriller felt like a trip through the looking glass and left me grinning like the Cheshire Cat. My husband's wife is a testament to Feeney's skill in crafting narrative sleight of hand that's both instantly gripping and deceptively complex. Prepare to be taken down the rabbit hole from the very start. Pay close attention to details and potential red herrings. The pacing is breathlessly fast. Short chapters and rotating POVs create relentless momentum as we're led through a maze of deceit and revelations. The initial mystery gives way to a deeper conspiracy in this masterful plot. Dare I say, this may well be Feeney's magnum opus. It's one of those rare books that as soon as you finish, you want to go straight back to the beginning and experience the roller coaster ride all over again. I do think it's her best book of the ones that I've read. I would actually totally agree with that. And yeah, it is just like this fast. It is
fast paced.
There's no place to take a breath in this book. It is literally just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And I've said this before in previous episodes about thrillers. Honestly, thriller authors have a tough job because everybody wants to be shocked and floored and have their jaw hit the floor at the end.
But it cannot be unbelievable.
Yeah. And it's like at some point, especially with the amount of thrillers there are in the world at this point, like at some point they do have to be a little unbelievable in order to get that mind blown moment. So I don't envy them. They have such a difficult job. to
they chose their profession.
Sure. But I always feel like I give them an extra bit of grace when I'm reading their works. I'm like, it's not easy to craft something that's gonna really grab our attention in that way and shock us, especially for people like me who this is one of my primary genres. So I do appreciate
Which is
them.
surprising. You probably see very similar things over and over again. I guess so. What I do in fantasy.
There's definitely tropes, and I know we talked about them ages ago, and we did that like tropes episode back in our first year. But so there's definitely tropes for sure, but there's a lot of variety I think that can still happen within them. Yeah. Okay,
we did it.
We did it. Yay. We also want to hear from you guys what you thought about this book. So make sure that you hop into our socials this Thursday so you can vote and let us know whether you think this book was a lit it or quit it. You can vote on Instagram, which is @litvibesonly_podcast, or on TikTok @litvibesonlypodcast. And then if you'd like to watch this episode instead of listen to it, you can do that on our YouTube channel @litvibesonlypodcast as well. So we've got all of those different ways for you guys to listen, participate, engage, follow, comment, and subscribe. So please do so. We have such a great time and have so much additional fun content and book reviews and all sorts of things happening on all of those platforms. If you are not currently in our Fable book clubs, you should be.
Go run now.
Go do it right now. If you want to have a say in the books that we're reading, and if you want to dive into these books even before these episodes come out and share your thoughts and feedback and chat with Kelsey and I, make sure to do so. We monitor those all the time and are always happy to chat with you guys and get to know you. So please do that. And then if you haven't already, hopefully you hit that download button at the beginning of this episode. But if you haven't, go ahead and hit that. You can always delete these episodes off your phone once it's actually been downloaded. We just need that number so that we get more visibility. And so the platforms that we're using are like, yay, their podcast is doing well. People are listening.
Yes.
And so that's super helpful. You can also, of course, still rate and review if you haven't. Hit that 5-star button on Apple Podcast or on Spotify. On Apple Podcast, you can also write a really quick review for the entire podcast. Or if you're on Spotify, you can leave a comment on this episode and let us know what you thought about it. So easy. So easy. So let us know your thoughts there. We love to hear from you guys and connect with you. And we're so glad you joined us on this lovely Monday. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.